Welcome back to the Team to Be Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. My name is Amir. Have some breaking news. According to Shams and Brian Windhorst of ESPN, Jimmy Butler has indicated to the Miami Heat that he wants the team to trade him and that he's open to playing anywhere but the Miami Heat. So this is now a signaling to the end of his incredible tenure with the Miami Heat. This shocking development has the basketball world buzzing tonight after the Miami Heat lost to the Indiana Pacers. Jimmy Butler had only 9 points, took only 6 shots, I believe, total in this game, was standing in the corner. Just you could tell from his body language he didn't want to be there. He's missed 5 or 6 games from an illness. That all seems to be a lie now, perhaps. But anyway, this I don't know what this means for Jimmy Butler and the NBA as a whole, but let's dive into the details and talk about some of the reasons for him potentially leaving this Miami Heat team and some of the trade destinations that could make the most sense for Jimmy Butler moving forward. So, straight from the beginning, Butler joined the Heat back in 2019. He was traded to the Miami Heat via sign and trade deal from the 76ers, and he quickly became the Miami Heat's heart and soul, and no one expected Jimmy Butler to take us to the finals during his time with the Miami Heat, especially in that first season with the Miami Heat. He made that iconic 2020 bubble run and another big time unexpected finals trip in 2023 as the Miami Heat were the 8th seed and were able to make it to the finals and ultimately fell short to the Denver Nuggets. So Jimmy Butler on court with the Miami Heat has been a pretty consistent force. He averaged 23.9 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 5.3 assists last season or 2 seasons ago, excuse me. And he was one of the best two-way players in the NBA. Off court, Jimmy Butler is always playing dominoes or promoting his coffee company, Big Faith Company or coffee. And I don't know, most recently, it's just the signs of discontent have been brewing this season. There was reports that Shams basically was saying that Bernie Lee said that Jimmy Butler is Bernie Lee's Jimmy Butler agent, and he basically was saying Jimmy Butler, has 4 teams that he would potentially be interested in getting traded to, and Bernie Lee and Shams had a back and forth, basically saying this is a lie. I didn't say this. Like Jimmy Butler doesn't want to trade, and Shams has been reporting this for the last 2 or 3 weeks. People were calling him a liar, basically saying it's false reporting, and Shams tripled down and said this is the most vetted story ever, that Jimmy Butler potentially wants to trade. These are the 4 destinations that he's willing to go to from sources, and it was all true. So Jimmy's been disgruntled for this entire season, it seems like. Obviously, once he didn't get his extension, that's the biggest issue. Like Jimmy not getting an extension is why he's upset. He's upset with Pat Riley for telling him to shut up and not talk when he's been injured and missed the playoffs, and that could be contributing to his decision for requesting a trade. Obviously, I think it's his money. That's the biggest issue. He wanted his money and he wasn't offered that. The Heat organization has basically remained tight-lipped but firm. Team president Pat Riley had reported and stated that the team has no intention of trading Jimmy Butler and that they would renegotiate and talk about his extension at the end of the season, and that they would figure it out by then. If Miami were to explore a trade, which they basically have to do at this point, they'd likely seek a pretty good return. They're going to look for young talent. They're going to obviously look for draft capital. They're going to look for salary cap relief, so maybe some expiring contracts. But right now, if I'm the Miami Heat, you either strike now and get him off the team immediately, or you wait for the best deal possible and you tell him to sit and not play, basically, and just lose your paycheck, basically. But either way, it's inevitable. He's going to get traded now that he made this request. I think the Miami Heat should trade him before the February 6th deadline, but as long as they get a good offer, they're never going to get a great offer or a fair return. They're going to get pennies on the dollar for him. But let's talk about a few landing spots real quickly. So Butler, again, like I mentioned, those reports were shams. He's reported and expressed interest in teams like the Golden State Warriors, Phoenix Suns, Dallas Mavericks, Houston Rockets. So these teams could be championship contenders or possess the assets to make a deal for Jimmy Butler. So the Warriors could offer a package including young talent like Jonathan Kuminga, maybe Moses Moody. They can also add Andrew Wiggins for salary cap, and they have, I think, like 3 or 4 first-round picks that are tradable. The Suns are already loaded with their stars, their big three. The only way they can make a trade is for trading Booker, Beal, or Durant. They can only trade one player because they can't aggregate players because they're a second apron team. So that's going to be tough. I don't think the Miami Heat want Bradley Beal. If they want to get a trade for the Suns, I would ask for Kevin Durant. That's it. Dallas could pair Butler with Luka Doncic, creating one of the most formidable duos in the league, and obviously have Kyrie Irving in the mix as well. So that would be still one of the best big threes in the league. But I don't know if they have the collection of young players and assets to make an intriguing offer for the Miami Heat. So reports, like I said earlier, are also indicating that Butler is no playing anywhere but Miami. So that could broaden his field of potential shooters. Teams like the Knicks, maybe he can join Thibs again, his coach from Chicago. They have a lot of wing players and assets they could possibly trade. Maybe the Clippers can trade for him. Maybe the Grizzlies or the Denver Nuggets, who the hell knows, can enter the mix. Just like how we didn't expect the Milwaukee Bucks to trade for Damian Lillard. They came out of the left field and they were able to swoop him up. So maybe a new team will come in and have the assets and have the better offer that they can provide for the Miami Heat. And who knows? We'll see. So the landscape is going to change. It's going to be very interesting. Butler's contract is going to add a layer of some complexity. He's currently earning, I think, $49 million this season. He has a $52.4 million player option next season, which he said he was going to decline and become a free agent. So any team that's trading for Butler would want to get some sort of extension versus just renting him for this season. So losing Jimmy Butler is going to be a seismic shift for this Miami Heat team. And they're going to have to build around younger players like Bam and Tyler and Khalil Ware and Jaime Jaquez. And so the Miami Heat are definitely going to take a step back without Jimmy Butler's star power, without playoff Jimmy. Miami is going to, be a mediocre team. They already are a mediocre this season. Jimmy has missed 11 of the 30 games. So and the last 2 games, he basically was just staying in the corner, didn't even play. Didn't play in either fourth quarter of the last 2 games. But for Heat fans, this is going to be bittersweet. And him requesting a trade today after that loss was a big blow. And we're losing our cornerstone franchise player. And it's unfortunate, man. So as the February 6th trade deadline approaches, we'll see what happens and how the story pans out. So stay tuned for updates. I'll be reporting on this when I get new information. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a good night.